All right, so this video, everyone, is actually part 2 of the reverse mortgage conversation. And the concept of what we're about to talk about has to do with the nuance of the reverse mortgage. And Mike, I'm going to leave it to you to kind of say what you just said. We were just talking an example of someone who had reached out to you and they were upset. And the reason they were upset is they had been promised that they would have money coming to them for something. Can you share a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the important part of when you refinance, even a forward mortgage, is like everything is negotiable. Like you can negotiate any part of this. If you want a lower rate, you can, potentially pay down the rate to get a lower rate. If you want to have less out-of-pocket costs, you can accept a higher rate to be able to get some money towards your loan costs. And in this particular case, this individual wanted to get money out from their reverse mortgage. We're told that they didn't. And, in a variable rate, there is something called a margin that you can adjust up or down to either get more money for the person or to be able to cover costs. And this person didn't do either, wasn't listening to their borrower. So the borrower didn't get what they wanted. And they were upset because they did not get what they wanted. And all that loan officer had to do was listen to the borrower and then make the adjustments. So, and I think that that's important. Again, like every part of this is negotiable. When you're buying a home, the cost of the home is negotiable. The rate is negotiable. The terms in which you buy it is negotiable. You're going to get a credit from the seller or a credit from the lender. All of this is negotiable. And I think that's just important for, borrowers to understand is that they're part of this negotiation. They lead the negotiation.
It never occurred to me to ask this, but throughout our conversation, I am making an assumption that this is for primary residence. Is it possible to do this on a multifamily property?
You can do it on a multifamily property, but it has to be a primary.
So the
So
person
if
does
you
have to live
They
in
do have to
this.
live there. Yeah, reverse mortgages have to be on your primary property. You have
Okay,
to live there at least 6 months out of the year. You have to make sure you're maintaining taxes and insurance and that you maintain the upkeep of the home. So
okay,
those are the tenets of getting a reverse mortgage.
okay. Is there anything else that I should know? Any qualifying things that someone should be aware of?
Um, no, I think that's we've covered it. You got to have enough equity in the home. You need to be of the right age. You need to be able to live there full time. Um, it can be a multifamily, but you have to still have it as your primary. And I think that's it.
Have you been noticing a trend that people are now doing more of these reverse mortgages than they were before?
Well, I mean, I think that one, you have an aging population where more people are qualifying for these reverse mortgages. I mean, the baby boomers are hitting the age where they can start doing these loans, and it's a large segment of the population. And I also think that with inflation, and I think with the poor economy, that like people are having a harder and harder time being able to make ends meet. So this is going to come in handy for a lot of people, and I think a lot of people need it, and may not be able to qualify it because of either a lack of equity or they got to it too late. Their debts run out of control, and they can't keep up with their debt. But yeah, I mean, I think it's becoming more and more in demand.
Well, I know that one of the concerns that we talk about in our industry is, we have such a lack of inventory right now because interest rates were so low. People refinance, they got themselves into a really nice low interest rate. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that was the be all end all for some people. In
Mhm.
other words, they may still have expenses that they're not just able to keep up with. So if someone took advantage of this, would that be good advice to get away from their low interest rate or, maybe not?
Well, I mean, I think that, when you're making payments, your low interest rate, bless you, low interest rate is important. I think when you are not making payments, Uh,
Sorry,
no
apologies.
worries. It always happens. But when you're not making payments, the interest rate is a lot less important.
Excuse me.
It's all right.
Sorry, edit that.
Yes. So, anyways, when you're making payments, low interest rate really, really helps. When you're not making payments, I mean, if your goal is to stop making payments, it really doesn't matter what the interest rate's at,
Right.
if that makes sense.
Yes,
You know,
I totally agree.
you know,
And then,
when you decide to retire, you know, your income is going from, you know, whatever it's say $10,000 a month down to $2,000 or $3,000 a month with your retirement. You know, that mortgage payment is going to be a problem. So you're going to want to refinance it, do a reverse mortgage to eliminate that payment. And your $2,000 or $3,000 a month goes a lot farther now.
right, right.
So,
It sure does.
yeah.
Well, let me say this again. I want to say thank you for all of this information, and also just, it's an unknown for a lot of people, and they don't know what they don't know, and they don't know who to turn to. I mean, not all lenders are doing a reverse mortgage program. And also, as you spoke, I remember you saying that you had someone who was supposedly an expert that you were supposed to talk with. And that was quickly changed when you met them. They were
Yeah, I mean,
not the expert.
I had come from a company where we were all doing probably 80 to 100 reverse mortgages a year, all the loan officers there. And then I went to my current company where they don't really do any. And they had an expert at another company. I asked how many refinances she had done in the 2.5 years she's been working, and she told me none. And so, I mean, ultimately, you know, that's something that, you know, at this point, you know, Success Lending is going to be one of the leaders in the field. We're going to be doing the most reverse mortgages in the country, and we're going to be reaching out to our clients and reaching out to as many markets as we can to let them know the great service we're going to offer and the great products that we have.
Well, I wholeheartedly agree that they have the right person in this
Well, I
seat.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Listening to you, I can tell you know what you're talking about. Well, again, thank you everyone for staying tuned in. This is something that I really wish you could share with people that might need it, because this is a wonderful way of, changing someone's life. If they didn't have the monthly obligation, they could stay in their home. So
Absolutely.
it's definitely a gift. I think you're a gift, Mike. So thank
Thanks,
you,
Celeste.
everyone. And don't forget that information for Mike and myself is in the description of this video. So thank you. And we'll see you soon. We're going to have another video.